This is most likely what Oklahoma looked like to the Perryman family and their cattle herds when they immigrated to Oklahoma in the late 1820s and 30s. And now, after all these many years, this is what it looks like today.
What we have out here now is we've preserved 80 acres of my great-grandfather's allotment. We have the home that was built in 1910. That was several years after he died. The original home had burned down after it was hit by lightning. We have the original barn that was built about 1898. We have the carriage house that was built, bunkhouse that was used constantly. And underneath the bunkhouse is probably the oldest structure on the property, and that is a root cellar that's made out of sandstone.
In short, this is one of the oldest existing structures in Tulsa County. Robert's great-great-grandfather, George Perryman, was one of the founding members of Tulsa, and his name appears on the original city charter from 1898. It's always fascinating to tour buildings that have been here prior to statehood. The house is filled with original items from that era, and when you walk in, you can feel the history permeate each room.
In there right now we have Tulsa's original post office, which was part of the family operations up at 41st and Utica in Tulsa. That was rescued for us by some wonderful citizens in town and finally returned to us several years ago. We have some other old family items. We have the butter churn that was on the back porch when I was growing up. We have a ketchupadagi, which belonged to my great-great-grandmother. That is the creek mortar and pestle that is used for cracking hominy, so you can turn it into softy.
There's also a small herd of longhorn cattle you can see. The story is they're descended from the original Perryman herd. These days, the Perryman Ranch has equipped itself with some modern structures, such as this pavilion, which can seat around 200 and has a kitchen and a stage. It's been used for weddings, corporate gatherings, meetings, reunions, and community events. And just as the Perryman family is steeped in history from this area, they're now looking to the future.
We're going to establish an intertribal cultural center. A lot of the purposes of that center are directed not only at having a central focus here, but also at directing people out towards the actual tribal museums, such as Okmulgee and Tahlequah and Pawhuska, and throughout the western part of the state also.
Call and schedule a tour of the Perryman Ranch today.